Hello guys, I'm back again. So last week, and several weeks ago I talked about doing it. I did a Scream pitch, trilogy pitch for the original Scream, how I would have, laid things out and stuff for the trilogy. Very similar to what we got, but with some tweaks. Still eating the cheese balls. So now I'm going to do is what is basically follow Scream 4 and to make a trilogy there. Now, there is a caveat to this, though, because if you remember reading the original plan, much like with Scream 3 with everyone, Stu being alive and all that stuff, the original plan was that the movie was going to end with Emma Roberts' character, Jill, getting away with it. And it was going to kind of leave it up in the air whether Sydney survived or not. Now, obviously, it was going to follow up with Sydney being out to prove that Jill was a complete fraud and was the real killer and all that. But instead, they went with the ending they went with, and we didn't get a trilogy. And we didn't get another Scream movie till, a couple years ago. So we're going to kind of go back to that. So we're going to pretend, that the studio didn't change it and didn't just change their minds. I don't know if it was Wes Craven or the studio that changed their mind, but let's go for it. Let's take the risk of maybe Sydney's not alive. Maybe she actually is dead, and we can still keep, let's also go with the illusion this is separate things. So while we did do a pitch for that, with the possibility of Dewey or Gale dying in the last one, Scream 3, let's say we didn't do that. Fresh slate, we'll just continue off this. Much like I did with a lot of the Halloween pitches and all that, if a character maybe died in the other situation, that doesn't mean you have to die here. So in this one, these characters were in Scream 4. They survived Scream 4, therefore they will be involved in Scream 5 and 6. And whether they lived for that, we'll see. But so basically, the way the movie Scream 4 would end would be that, yes, Jill would be the new city, essentially. Having gotten away with it. Charlie's dead. Kirby's not dead, though. We'll find that out later. So Kirby will be a big part of this as well. Sydney's kind of like, unconscious in the hospital. We don't know if she's dead or not. And what I would kind of do, going into Scream 5 here, is that I would actually not have her in much of it. I would leave her for, not really an after credit scene, because, this was a little bit before this. It was very popular. But, I would kind of have it be almost sort of a thing where she's finally waking up from this coma or something like that that she was in. Let's just say she was in a coma, whatever, or unconscious or something, some kind of way that she is just not able to stop Jill from doing this crazy shit she's doing. So basically the idea would be that towards the end of the movie, that would be maybe she's watching her on TV or something like that, and is I'm going to expose you, and that'll lead us into the next movie. But we have to figure out the rest of the movie before that happens. So let's say it's been, a little while. I wouldn't say years, just because, maybe a year. This time or whatever. Now all the news things are probably, maybe Gale Weathers even written about this thing. Because, Gale Weathers never, didn't go for a story. So she would probably write a story about Jill and being a lone survivor and all that stuff, which then would turn out to not be true because Kirby would also be alive. Nearly dead, but, And I would say that maybe we start to see, a lot of people talking to Kirby as well, which Jill didn't plan on anyone surviving this thing. So we start to plant seeds that Jill does not want Kirby taking her spotlight. Because this is all about Jill. That's the whole thing with Jill. She was obsessed with being in the spotlight, being the new city, being the survivor, being the one that everyone loved, and wants to write about and focus. She wants her 15 minutes of fame, and she's not going to let anybody take it. So, yeah, I think maybe she's slowly but surely, she's playing along for now, but Kirby was never supposed to survive. Kirby was supposed to die. And she was supposed to be the Tatum, so to speak, in the new version, She's supposed to be the Tatum. She's supposed to die off and not be there. Not take my spotlight. So I would say, yeah, I wouldn't have her kill Kirby, because Kirby's a fun character. And she's going to tie into the plot. But Kirby would definitely get injured and would get attacked. Maybe take her a little bit, out of sorts for a little bit. And slowly but surely, Emma Roberts' character, Jill, is starting to lose her sanity a little bit because people are starting to get bored with her. They're not focusing on her like they did Sydney. And so she's like, okay, well, I got to keep this shit going. Because if people aren't fucking focusing on me, I'm going to lose my 15 minutes of fame. People aren't going to be writing about me. So I have to survive another one of these damn things. So then we start again. So then we start having, she targets some new people. Maybe she's at college. You know, you want to call back to, much like Scream 6 did with the New York thing. She's at college. You know, she's out of high school. She's at a college. Now she can get a whole new group of friends that she can surround and all that. And then, you know, maybe even get another accomplice. Now, who that accomplice is going to be, it's got to be a brand new character. Because, you know, Kirby's not going to be your accomplice. And, you know, the other originals are. So there's got to be brand new characters you got to bring in. Now, as far as actors, I don't know who that would be at that time that the movie came out. Who knows? But Evan Peters, why not? They were dating. No, it's fine. They were dating at the time, I think. So, you know, he could be this, you know. I mean, a guy who, like, was one of the killers in Scream 6 kind of reminded me of Evan Peters. He had similar, you know, Evan Peters and Kick-Ass. Not so much Evan Peters now, but you know, maybe she gets a new boyfriend. Maybe he's actually her cohort, you know. Brainwashes him into this, like, hey, we're going to be stars, we're going to be famous, you know, we got to kill these idiots and all that. So, you know, Dewey's around as well. You know, him and Gail have actually stayed together for once. Oh, we also have Hicks as well. You know, she, of course, was in Scream 5. Now, that also, because this is a different type of pitch, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to survive all the way till the other Scream 5 that we actually got. You know, here she'll be here. But yeah. They're continuing to check on Sydney. You know, she's still incapacitated, and she's suffered kind of, let's say she's suffered kind of some, not only to say brain trauma, but enough that she's forgotten a little bit. Not that she's gotten amnesia. She's not Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 3, but she's, you know, enough that she's not remembering that Jill did this to her. Because that's going to be a nice mystery for her, because she's got to figure out, right? And then the killings start again. Of course, Dewey's involved. Gail Weathers, of course, is on it. She's written a book about it. She's like, oh my God, how is this happening again? Who the hell is it now? You know, it's like, God damn these Stab fans, man. Why are these stupid Stab fans just can't get over this shit? It's a freaking horror movie. Stop doing this shit. So, yeah. So, of course, as usual, Gail and Dewey will get injured somehow. Hicks will probably get injured. But Hicks starts to say, maybe we need to look at something else here. She's like, all the killings that are happening. So maybe Hicks is starting to suspect something's not right here. Because she's like, she's constantly the survivor here. You know, and then Kirby gets, you know, not taken out. But like I said, we're not killing a lot of the surviving characters right now. Not yet. Maybe in Scream 6. We'll see how things go. But yeah. Start to suspect that maybe somebody else is the killer. And maybe Kirby even starts to say, you know, maybe Jill ain't still on the up and up. I mean, because it wasn't Charlie that made that phone call to her, it was somebody else. So Charlie obviously had a cohort. But the thing is, maybe Kirby thinks it was his friend that was with him. Like they were horror-obsessed kids. You know, maybe his friend was working with him. Because she didn't see him die. You know, it's not like she found his body. As far as I can remember, I don't think she did. So, for all he knows, he could have been the other killer. But he is dead eventually, so she'd figure out, okay, well, who else could it be? So, I would definitely say Kirby's starting to suspect. Maybe she confides in Hicks. I don't know. Something isn't right about Jill. She seems very off. Maybe even a little bit. Maybe Jill's even snapping a little bit. Maybe she's a little more snippy than she used to be. Because she's losing her edge. So she does. She does injure Kirby pretty decently again. You know, in the Scream mask. We don't actually see it. Now, here's where the twist happens here. We will reveal one of the killers. We won't reveal Jill yet as the killer. She's still going to play the victim. She's still going to be like, oh my God, how could you do this to me? Because we don't want to give it away yet. Now, everybody in the audience already knows she's a killer. So, those watching at home, it's not going to be a mystery. But the people in the universe are going to be like, oh, well, what? This is crazy. You know, and yeah, but like, that's what I will go with that. So, excuse me. I should really stop eating when I'm talking. So, let me finish this up. Pause break. Alright, so, sorry about that. So, like I said, Jill's getting on edge. She'll basically set up her boyfriend. He's the main killer. He's the solo killer, maybe. Maybe he's even got another... Maybe she set somebody else up, another group of friends and all that. Or let's even go, I like this idea. She sets up Kirby as one of the killers. Now, Kirby doesn't know that she's the one that kidnapped her, but that's how she's taken out. So Kirby gets set up. She's one of the killers. She was one of the killers originally. She stabbed herself, all that other stuff. That was her and Charlie were crazy. So she plays this whole thing up, even though, Kirby knows that's not what happened. And the other guy will play along like, oh, yeah, she's definitely a killer. So, Kirby's like, no, this is bullshit. I didn't do this, So Kirby gets injured. The other boyfriend, maybe Gale Weathers gets to be the hero this time and shoots, the other guy in the head. He's taken out. And then they're like, Gale's trying to convince, like, are you really the killer, and all that. And Kirby's like, no, but yeah. So then I think that, but we want to still we still want to keep Gale and Dewey and them in the dark a little bit because, I said, we're going for a full trilogy. We can't kill Jill yet. We can't reveal even for them that she's a killer because then they would just take her out. So we need a reason for her to somehow get away with it again. So I would say, like I said, the cops, Dewey will arrest Kirby with suspicion, saying, look, we don't know for sure that you're involved in this, but we still need to follow protocol. So we got a little bit off kilter and twisted, but I think this is a better way to go. So this way, Jill, once again, is a sole survivor. And now people are like, oh my God, you survived another tragedy. Why does this keep happening to you? And I was like, people just love you so much. They're obsessed with me. These stab films are just horrible. We've got to stop making these stab films. And it's always weird with stab films. Like, it feels like we always have so many stab films. There's more stab films than there are actual Scream films, which is so weird. But yeah, so anyway, that leads us off. Like I said, the ending is obviously, she sees her on TV getting this interview, and then it kind of just clicks for Sydney, like, oh, wait a minute. Like it clicks back to like, she's the fucking killer. She's playing this game. She's playing the victim. So now Sydney knows what she's got to do. And she's going to obviously call, Hicks. She's going to call these other people, and obviously Dewey and Gale and all that stuff. And she's going to say, no, you need to let Kirby go. It wasn't Kirby. It was her. And so that's going to lead us into the next movie. So the next movie will very much be about, Jill finally getting her comeuppance. And Sydney's like, you know what, I have to stop the ship finally. Excuse me. Damn cheese balls. Dry throat. Anyway, that's why we have water. But yes. So the third film will be basically, or Scream 6, will basically be about Jill Goodner finally getting her comeuppance, finally being shown as the killer that she truly is. But Jill's not just going to come empty-handed, She knows she's losing her popularity. She knows there's people who are questioning things. And she'll start to say, oh, these are all conspiracy theories. People who is... Sydney suffered a traumatic head injury. She doesn't know who the killer is. She's playing the gaslighting thing. She's gaslighting the media. Something that everybody does nowadays. But, it's like gaslighting the media. We're going to tell them whatever. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's lies. Fake news. Whatever you want to say. But yeah, so, but meanwhile, Dewey obviously believes Sydney, and so does Gale. And obviously Kirby's said, I've had my suspicions for a while, and then when they tried to set me up as the killer, I know that, she's got to be taken down. So you got a group of people. It's them against one person, but you know what? Jill's got to have some backup. There's got to be a reason for Jill to, how's she going to get away with it, right? She's got to get some more cohorts, some more people. And I think, much like Scream 3, how it's like we go back to the beginning to kind of, piece things together. I think that maybe that Jill had another accomplice. Oh, what a twist. And not to just rip that third movie off like that, but like maybe there's someone else, not necessarily pulling the strings, but somebody else that was helping her. So obviously it wasn't Kirby, although she did survive, and that would be a good alibi. So, who else was in that Scream 4 movie? And obviously, our original survivors, Hicks, would be an interesting way to go. You could go with Hicks. Or maybe there's somebody else. Her mom obviously died. The cops are dead. All her other friends are dead. This is a tricky thing because this isn't like the original trilogy where you're like, oh, it's Stu. But, let's see. All right. I've got it. So, the person who was helping her and leading her is the girl from Scream 3 that was supposed to be the other killer, who I think I killed in that one. But let's say that she's not. Like I said, we're separating this somewhat, even though it's connected. It's separated. We're going to cheat a little bit. So that other girl who was supposed to be the killer, the kind of one that was playing City in the Stab movie, she's going to be not necessarily the mastermind, but she's the one who's been influencing Jill this whole time and all that, and saying, yeah, I know what it's like to be City. She took that all. I should have been a star from Stab. I should have. She ruined everything with all that. So once again, we're into the Stab thing, but like 2 female killers. Well, what happened there? Froze up for a minute. That was weird. So 2 female killers, essentially. So she's going to come back into the picture, and City's going to be like, oh my God, what the hell? So yeah. Anyway, it comes down to the big showdown. They kill Angelina, I think was her name. Yeah. They kill Angelina off. Emma Roberts, I always call her Emma Roberts, but Jill finally gets her come on, but she's finally taken out. And then they basically just, Gail Weathers exposes her as the mastermind behind this. She's the true killer. And she killed all these people, and she's fooled everybody for like years now. So yeah, and obviously City comes out the hero again. Kirby comes out the hero again. I would even have Kirby give the final blow. Now do you want to kill off any of the other characters? I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I think we can get away with it. I would say maybe the next trilogy, something like that happens, but like they already killed Dewey, so whatever. But yeah, I think. You could get away with it, maybe to really emphasize how evil she is. Maybe one of them gets severely injured. I don't know. But, I at the end of the day, essentially, I'm not saying pass the torch, but Kirby does kind of become the sort of continuing final girl. I sort of, Sydney will still be involved in the next one, but like I would say Kirby needs to be kind of the next focal point. Because her character is similar in that. And I think we could tie more into Kirby's life in the next pitch that I'm going to make. But yeah, so that's what I would do with a follow-up to Scream 4, using the original ending of Scream 4, which was supposed to be. So obviously that's not what happened. Jill's dead, but, a good what if. That's all these pitch meetings are really, guys. It's just a what if of what we could have done, or here's what we could have gone, or here's what could have happened. So that's what I would do with that. I know reaching for Angelina was just these, rather than doing Stu coming back again, and talking to this teenager, I thought, well, Angelina, we can use her. Why not? Because, Roman's dead, so we can't really use him. So it's like, well, there's nobody else from Scream 4 than, having Hicks be the killer would just be kind of random. Well, they did make her a little creepy, but she was always a red herring. I'm just rambling on, so don't mind me. I ramble! Caffeine is a wonderful thing. So yeah, that's what I would do with Scream 4, 5, 6. So I will come up with a plan for what to do in Scream 7. Following the trilogy we have, there may be some tweaks as well. I may make some arrangements there as well. But yeah, that's my Scream trilogy second sequel pitch, I guess, would be what it would be. So following Scream 4, what could have been. All right, guys, cool. Like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, Anna will probably be back sometime this weekend with a video review of the movie that she watched. I don't remember the name of it because I didn't watch it. So that's all her. So cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like and subscribe, and I will be back with one more Scream pitch. My plan is to actually watch the horrible third Candyman movie somehow. I might rewatch the second one too, just to get it fresh in my mind. Obviously, I've seen the original one tons of times, and I saw the remake, so I can do a ranking video of that, and then we'll do some pitches for that. Of kind of where they went wrong. But yeah, so cool, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.